Okay, this section is section 2 of research thesis mastery course, and under my section 2 I will start the content uh, from methods, material and procedures. Under this, the student or the researcher show how you will achieve the objectives, how you answer the questions. Here there is a saying, means determines the end. እዚህ ጋር ኢትዮጵያኖች የሚሉት ነገር አለና ላካፍላችሁ። የትም ፍጪው ዱቄቱን አምጪው የሚባል ሪሰርች ውስጥ አይሰራም። I used Amharic here because the word that Ethiopians use on this case is very interesting, which means which supports the idea which says means determines the end, which means the procedure you follow, the process you follow, the steps you go through, and the materials you use, the tools you employ, every issues you deal with impacts or have effect on the quality of the finding. So under this, you should have to show how you will achieve the objectives and how you will answer the questions. Means determines the end is really brief here. And the next point I want to share you is about the title chapter. The chapter, in most cases, this chapter is known as chapter 3. It is better if we make the chapter title research design and methods. Some people may say methods, methodology, and something also related with this. But I recommend, or it is better if we make the title of the chapter research design and the methods. Research design and the methods. Under this chapter also I don't go through the detailed issue, but I will tell my listener, or I will share my listener what should never be missed. For example, there is a research design in this chapter. If you are using, for example, descriptive research type or explanatory research design, you should have to justify why you used that. And under this also you may have the approach, research approach may be qualitative, quantitative, or mixed. Here also you better justify why mixed, why qualitative, why quantitative approach. This should be focused here. And the other one is target population. Here, for whom you are going to generalize the research finding is the case. Even it is good if you put how many in number. So in most cases, our students misses. They jump to decide sample size before clearly writing the target population. But I advise you, first of all, put the target population very clearly, if possible even in number, and then you will continue the next. And the next point is about sampling method. Here also, I don't go through the detail, but I will tell you only some issue. You should have to determine sample size first using an appropriate formula, and determine how you are going to choose them. It might be probability or non-probability sampling. And also under this, you should have to address how to approach each element in sample. And also for using the approach, it is good to clearly justify for each of your decisions. And one point I want to address here is about sample size determination. For example, if you say my sample size is 20%, why 20%? Why not 40%? So it must be backed with scientific rationale or scientific formula. And I recommend it is good to use scientific formula. There are scientific formulas through which we can decide or determine sample size, or you should have to clearly write down the rationale why you used that percent. Unless and otherwise, people who read your paper will say, or most probably say, this sample size is not representative. So this should be focused under this title. And the next point I want to address is about source of data. Which source are you going to use? Primary, secondary, or both? And not only this, under source of data, it's good if you have an instrumentation for primary, an instrumentation for secondary, and a clear justification for your choice. For example, if you are saying, I will use primary data, you should have to tell the reader or write the issue by justifying why you utilized the secondary data or primary data. So try to support your justification with references and cite them well, because here no jumping. And the other thing I want to address here is about data collection technique. Under data collection technique, show each procedure involved in the step clearly. And the next point I want to address is method of data analysis. Which data analysis method you are going to apply? Descriptive, inferential, or any other model. And also you should have to clearly tell us here why you used inferential or why you used descriptive. Unless and otherwise, the reader will have a difficulty of deciding whether the method of data analysis you utilized is appropriate or not. And not only this, I want to focus here. If, for example, your title is about a relationship or effect and cause relationship, or about impact, or about role. For example, if you are studying about role of one variable on another variable, it is recommendable, or it is good if you use the appropriate econometric model for that. For example, if you are studying about, or if you are dealing with the issue talking about effect of this variable on this variable, it is mandatory to have regression. And if you are studying about relationship, it is also recommended to have correlation. So here, when you decide your data analysis technique, it is mandatory to look about your title, about your objectives, about the intent or the intention of the research. If the intention of the research is about deciding the effect of one variable on another one, it is mandatory, or it is recommended to have econometric model like regression and correlation. And the next point I want to address here is about validity and reliability. Remember, be sure that you prepare the data collection tool first of all. When you go to validity and reliability test, first of all you should have to be sure that you prepared the data collection tool in line with objectives, and test the validity and reliability before proceeding the final paperwork, which means before proceeding to data collection. Unless and otherwise, you will bring the data which is not really related with your objective intention. So before going to data collection, it is mandatory to have a test or reliability check. When we say validity, it refers to the accuracy of measures, and validity test report that you should have to incorporate in your final paper. Actually, in proposal, it is about your plan, how you are going to check the validity, how you are going to check the reliability or test the reliability. But here I'm talking about the report that you should have to have in your final thesis. So here the validity test report should address whether appropriate experts of the study agenda, professionals and the research advisor is consulted or not. If not, most probably it is suspected that the tool may be invalid. And reliability. Actually, most people may use the ones which is validated by other researcher, but still it is advisable to take this tool to your advisor and expertise in the area. And reliability refers to the consistency of the measure. And test results should be, or I advisor, actually I can't say should be for all of the fields, but on the field of management, we most of the cases we recommend to use Chrome Batch Alpha. Actually, there are other tools, but I prefer to use this. Chrome Batch Alpha result better tested and reported in terms of measure objective terms or pointers. That means not suggested to put only in single item. That will help us as an advisor and as evaluator to detect not the researcher escape from important terms. And the next point I want to discuss is about analysis and discussion section. This is in most cases said to be chapter 4. And here also I'm not going to discuss most details or more details. I only want to say few only that you should have to focus. The analysis must be made in line with the objective also. Your analysis should go via specific objectives you had in your chapter 1 without disrupting their order. It's better to do it like that. And there should be discussion of primary data and secondary data supported with literature. Here also, why I am going to focus on the discussion is the platform where we frict the data we collected via different tools. For example, you collected your data via questionnaire and interview, for example. Under discussion section, you have the chance or the opportunity to frict the data collected via these two tools to get very strong stand for summary of the finding that you are going to write in chapter 5. So there should be discussion section in chapter 4. And also not only fricting the data collected via different tools, but also you better frict this primary data with secondary data like literature. That may gives you a chance to have very, very strong finding that you will write in a summary form in chapter 5. This is the only thing I want to say in chapter 4, which means analysis and discussion chapter. Analysis must be made in line with the objective. There should be discussion of primary data and secondary data supported with literature. Is my focus point is that you never miss. And the next chapter is about chapter 5, which is summary, conclusion, and recommendations. Under this chapter, summary is there. Actually, you have contents that should be included in summary according to your college guideline, but I want to say only few. Under your summary, present background information as well as recapitulation of the research aims of the study and also the methods. And better to address process the study has come through also and briefly summarize the results. I mean, this is the part of recapitulating the results. So briefly summarizing the result is important here under summary. And the next point is about conclusion. Here I will tell you some secret. We said research is somehow a rigid step, but under conclusion you get one good chance to show your stand without missing the frame of the objectives you formulated in your objective section. So conclusion should be your own stand drawn from hypothesis tested or drawn from the results. Here you can use your researcher discretionary mind. It should return to the opening and examine the original purpose in light of the presented research, which means circular argument. It should be strongly linked to the research objective and the like. You may add many more points, but I want to say only these few things. And the next point is about recommendation. Recommendation should be drawn from the conclusion. It should be linked to the research objectives. It should be customized. Customized to what? Customized to the reality. No recommendation outside of the discussion of the results. And the other point I want to focus is you should be specific to the issue under the study and to the concerned bodies under the study and how they should improve. You should have to tell them the expertise way out, because here you are a physician of the issue. The people in the organization you made the research may not have information like you did. So you better specifically tell them how they should have to improve. This means the expertise way out should be told. And the other thing is suggestion for further study is recommended. Having said this, the next point is about references. I only say here all cited references or utilized sources must be fully referenced under the reference section. And the style must be consistently written all over the report or all over the text. For example, if your college is using APA, which means American Psychological Association referencing style, you must consistently use APA all over the text. And all cited must be fully referenced or clearly acknowledged here under reference. The next point I want to address is about appendices. Some people may think as if all documents we have at hand should be attached at the end of the paper, but not. It is some documents you find important that should be attached. This is the very essential thing. Some documents, those you find important, should be attached. This is about section 2 in brief, and thank you very much for listening to me carefully.